Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Foxy Box's map making with Sparks. Today, we're going to be working on a level. Oh baby. So this is a level that was sent in quite a while ago by Polyboy, and it looks pretty neat. You start off in the middle, and kind of wind your way through it. I think I've shown it before in an episode. It's got a very nice feel to it, I like it. And it looks a lot better now the grass is green. So what we're going to be trying to achieve today is we're going to put a couple of crates into this level. We're going to change it up a little bit to make sure that it fits with the feel of Game Mode 4. Sorry, not Game Mode 4, Foxy Boxes. For example, we don't want any planks in this level because planks are a man-made material and these are supposed to be unexplored planets, so things like that are going to go. But we can retexture them or just change the block type to fix that up. These gates will have to change as well. I'm thinking maybe like briars or something like brambles instead. And what we're also going to be working on today is the box tally. So loading the level, counting how many boxes there are in the level, and working out whether the player got all of them or not when they reach the end. So that's going to be kind of cool. I think I might change this here to a hole, so you can fall down it kind of thing, which we worked on. We worked on hole mechanics earlier. And we've got a nice little sort of cavey thing here, again looking a little bit too man-made, so we might want to change that up to look a bit more natural. But it's looking pretty nice in general, very mushroomy. He's actually sent in a couple of other levels, one or two I think, and there are a few that have been sent in by other people, which is awesome. This one has a little bit of a short playtime. I think it's only about 2 minutes to run all the way through, and I am aiming for about 5 minutes, sort of 4 to 5 minutes run through time for these levels. So it's a bit short, but it'll do well for our first level to actually sort of start populating with boxes and things. Have a cabinet. Yeah. Before we do that though, I just wanted to show off some work I've been doing off camera / in a live stream. These are the cabinets, file cabinets by ProRed, which are going to be in this sort of just glimpsed through the door file cabinet style room thing. They're not solid, they're just armor stands, but they look pretty good through the door. We need better doors. I also applied a new texture to them so that they don't look like iron blocks anymore, which I think looks a bit nicer. Slightly more plasticky than I expected, and I've been keeping to the 32-bit texture as well, to keep things in a similar sort of resolution. I think these are 64-bit actually, I'm not quite sure about the floor tiles. Anyway, I also worked on this room over here, and I changed up the lamps in the ceiling here because the original lamps are oriented this way, and I just created a second model which points in the opposite direction along here. And finally, I just made a little extension to this corridor so it looks like it keeps going on, when in fact it's just a dead end. And one more thing I did was I worked on some girders for the room where the what's it called? The spaceship is found at the beginning of the game. So I've got this sort of repeating girder pattern I can place down, which will act as a nice... I think I misplaced something here. Yeah, there we go. So we've got these girders, they'll sit up on the ceiling. Some things I wanted to mention with this is that this is a shape which is very good for holding up roofs. I did a little bit of research in how large hangars hold up their roofs. So we've got a lot of triangles in this shape. Secondly, this is a texture, not a model. So this is all one face with a transparent texture on it to cut down on the faces. Because it's so far away, we're going to be a lot lower down, under this than we are right now. And secondly, these support beams here, technically, in a normal environment, the beam would go from the bottom here to the top here, so they'd be kind of angling sideways, but we can't have a thing in Minecraft angled like that, so I cheated slightly. That's not the most sound structure, but seen from quite far below, which is where we'll be looking at these from, I think they'll make pretty good girders and not a bad model. I also removed the faces of the side beams from the top, so you can't actually see them from above because you can't see them, so I may as well reduce the faces slightly, right? So yeah, that's those. Oh yeah, and to help me build this room with the mushroom blocks, I have a thing which just turns diamond blocks into mushroom blocks and I place them. Very handy. And that is literally this command block right here. It's just doing a execute add a fill replace thing, which I'm going to turn off for now, in case we need to use diamond blocks or something. So I've got two little command blocks here doing a similar fill replace thing. Just wherever I walk, it's going to replace planks and cobblestone with slightly less contrasty blocks. We can always go do this fill replace again if we want. It's only replacing directly below me, so I should be able to safely walk up to these walls without breaking anything. But just as we walk through this level, it's going to tidy things up a little bit for us, which is nice. I should avoid jumping, though, while I'm near walls. Okay, so that'll be nice. These can stay. They're fine, the mushroom things. And we're going to be looking for places to put some crates. In fact, I should probably head back and get my crate placing eggs. So in the scheme of things, this is probably the third level a player is going to find themselves in. So we don't need to be too crazy with like teaching them how to use crates and things. The reason I say the third level is because I'm aiming for several solar systems with 5 planets, i.e. 5 levels per solar system. And they'll start at the sun and move outwards from the center. So the first level is going to be very hot, lots of lava, sandstone, that kind of thing. Then we'll have something unique to that solar system, some kind of weird level. Then the third one will be kind of green and foresty and shiny, which will probably be this for the first solar system. And then, or this might be like the second or the fourth, because it's not very lush and foresty, it's still kind of rocky. Then the fourth will be something unique and special again, and the fifth will be something very cold, because it's very far away from the central sun. So we want to get a couple of crates in here. And we can probably put a couple that are sort of, you know, very in the way, very clearly there to be broken. In fact, if we wanted to, we could put a crate up there. And then to get that one, you'd have to bounce off this and hit your head on the mushroom. Beautiful. Let me just reset that crate. See if I can actually get up here. Yeah, you can do. That's nice. There's going to be a lot of testing to make sure people can't use the crates to get out of the level, because I think that's going to be a distinct possibility, and I hate games where it looks like you can get somewhere and there's just an invisible wall blocking you. So I want to try and avoid using those where I can, and be a little inventive, use brambles or you know, just actually walls in that sense. So here we've already got a bit of a challenge. You can't get to that, or you can probably jump up and break it by smashing it as well. So there's 2 ways to get to that, but we've got this kind of nice feel by doing this. In fact, I can probably get out by bouncing off that one, then jumping high off that one. Yeah, we've got to look out for things like that, because that's a huge shortcut up to here. But we can look into those. Kind of, I suppose we have to deal with this as we go, so that's probably quite a bad place for a crate in hindsight, because you can get all the way up here. In fact, you can even use that first crate to get up here. And while shortcutting would not allow them to get all the crates, it would seriously cut down on the level time, because that takes them around a bit. Okay. We've got to be very careful about this sort of thing, I suppose. In which case we may have to delete this crate. Let me F3B so I can actually see them. There we go. I think I'd quite like a little stack of crates right here as well. Like so. Nice. This is something kind of interesting we can do where the crates kind of block the way and you have to smash your way through them, which is kind of nice, and it sort of gets people used to using the controls, although we don't need to focus on that too much for this level because, as I said, they're oh yeah, I forgot I'm converting the ground as I go, aren't I? They're kind of supposed to be fairly used to the controls by this point. These are half slabs. Okay. We have to come back round for those then. And in fact, we don't have smooth stone or andesite half slabs, so we'll have to see what we can do about that. Got a nice cave over here, which I haven't really looked into much. So this area here is quite open, and I'm not quite sure what best to do with it actually. There's a lamp here. Didn't even see that. So this is going to have to go. I can see why it was here though. It's dark. We could put some invisible lighting here or something. Somebody has suggested we use the structure blocks because they are very unused. So we could use them because they give off light. structure, huh? Oh, structure block. So that gives off a lot of light, but we can just texture it to be invisible, that kind of thing, if we wanted to. So I'm already thinking about turning fence posts into briars, or like some sort of creeping plant thing. So we can probably leave those there for now. And these platforms will have to be something else. What would naturally make sense to be hanging from a tree? That's the question. I guess we can go for a little bit of belief suspension in these worlds. After all, it is a game. I think I'm going to leave these like this for now so I can work out what I want to do with them. By the way, if you're worried about spoilers, I won't be placing boxes for all of the levels on camera, but since this is the first one we're doing, we're definitely going to cover it just so you can sort of follow along a little bit and see what's happening. But in the interest of keeping spoilers and things going for the game so you can actually play it, I won't be showing everything. So we do want to kind of hide a couple of crates or make it so people perhaps need to go both ways to actually get everything. So, for example, you can jump your way around there, but you may also have to go down here to get some crates. It's also fairly hidden from here. You can see that fairly well. Maybe I'll get rid of that and put it here. That's probably not visible from up here. It is visible from up here. Okay, just trying to find somewhere where I can put it where you can't see it from here. I can't see. I don't think there is a spot that meets that requirement. I guess maybe here. I guess that'll do. People can spot it and they'll head down here, and then they either have to double back or come up here and head over here. Put one here, which is nice and safe, no bouncing out of that one. And then we could probably have one kind of floating there. Kind of you can bounce off of it like that. Oh, this is nice. The level comes around here, right? And down here is our starting point. So it'd be quite cool to have this sort of clearly visible crate up here that you can see but can't reach. Although these will probably allow you to reach it. Yeah, you can. So, it's so tricky to work out where to place these things because you don't want people getting places that they shouldn't go. But that sort of thing will be quite cool because people are trying to work out how to get to it, but really you just need to be approaching it from later on. It's almost quite well hidden from here as well. It's sort of, you can just see it if you're looking for it, which is nice. Yeah, it's kind of nice. I like it. Maybe we'll have to get rid of this stack right here then, or move it over slightly. I like that. That's pretty cool. Boonk. I am going to be, in a later video, redesigning the entire jumping thing. Or maybe even just doing it off camera, because it's just not reliable at the moment. And that's no fun. I'm going to put one here, because you can jump over this, and it's kind of nicely hidden. But you can also kind of drop down on it and bounce over if you are looking for it. So we can kind of hide things like that. Something Crash Bandicoot does a lot with its crates is put them in a position where the camera can't see them, but that's sort of, it's a third-person game, so we have to deal with things like that differently. We have to handle 3D space and the player's ability to completely control the camera. Something we don't have yet is lives crates that give you extra lives. We're going to have to build those in at some point and possibly come back into the level. I think we should work on some other crate designs in a upcoming video. Okay, I like this positioning here because you can jump onto it and over like that, or if you're coming from down here, having collected these crates, you can run over here and use it to get up. Bonk. Oh, I hate it when it does that. I need to fix. I need to redo. Fix isn't even the right word. Just tear out and redo that jumping system. I think I've got some ideas on how to do it differently, Get rid of these item frames as well. I don't think we need them. Okay, I think we're going to make this an actual hole. Spooky. I need to make something which can make it sort of fade into darkness. I'm not sure how best to do that. Possibly a glass placed at alternating layers. Do we want to be cheeky and put a scary crate down here? You can see it from here. But you kind of have to boing. Yeah, let's leave it there. That's kind of cool. Right, again, we're going to have to change the torches for something else. Partially because it's man-made and partially because I'm using these particles for fireflies. And yeah, we're going to have to begin texturing some of these other light sources. I think these will look pretty cool as like stalagmites or something. They do give off annoying particles, but I think we can actually... In fact, I think there is no texture for it in my texture pack because I started it in 1.8, so that's kind of cool. We can potentially make those look a little jaggedy, like so, and probably work quite well for lighting. And this is going to have to be another hole, I think. Although you'd have to be an idiot to fall down this one. Maybe I'll kind of break this slightly. So you've got a bit of a jump to do. Yeah, that'll be nice. I'll make this another hole. And got a nice, this will have to be a hole again, which is kind of cool. I have no idea how many crates I've placed so far. Probably around 30, maybe a little less. And here's the end of the level. Okay, that's pretty much crated then. We may add some more, we may hide a few more, remove some as we go, but the important thing is we can now work on a system to work out how many crates there are and count how many the player breaks in the course of their adventures. Now, one thing we have to consider here is that TNT crates are able to break crates too, and so we should make sure that if TNT blows up a crate, it will count towards the player's final score. So I think the crates should count themselves as broken by the player or count towards the player's break count for the level, regardless of how they break. We definitely want to add some more types of crates to this level as well, to add a little bit of variety, you know, ones that you can bounce off of constantly, and I don't know, a couple of other types as we invent them. Whew, right, I've just been staring at this level initialization system for a while now, trying to remember what it's doing. So I think currently what happens is you walk up to an armor stand called init L1, and it's called warp level 1, and it triggers the init clock. So what we need to consider is that when a player is teleported over to this area, the chunks will take a moment to load up, and we want to make sure that we don't do anything to reset the level until it's fully loaded. So what I'm thinking of doing is spawning the player underground in the very center of this area and placing armor stands in each of the 4 compass points, so that over there, and there, and waiting until all 4 are loaded by counting them. And if there are 4, then we know everything between the player and them is loaded, and then we can reset the crates, count how many there are, and reset the player's crate break count. So that's the plan here. So here we have a little black box of doom with my black wool, which should make this a completely featureless place to stand in when it's closed off. We can teleport them in here, and this is under the ground, just more or less in the center of the entire level. So that's the first thing we need to do. We'll teleport them there, and then we need to put some armor stands in the corners that are used to detect the load status of the area. So if we do CID type because armor stand equals load corner, we should find that there are 4 of them. Fantastic. We're in our little box right now. So that is looking pretty good. What we want to do now is go back over to the redstone and set up a universal system that all the levels can use to tell when they're loaded. We're actually moving away from a location-based level join with a sort of room for each level that you walk into and it teleports you to the location, and more of a screen-based selection process. So what I'm thinking is changing it out so that we don't have three armor stands for one level, but have one armor stand for the level and give it a score telling it what status the level is in. So we'll have our level 1 armor stand, and if we want to join level 1, we will give it a level status score of 1, which tells it that it has to teleport the player and start the loading clock. And then when the loading clock detects that all four of the armor stands are found, i.e. the level is fully loaded, it will reset any crates, reset their break score, and then set the score of any armor stand with a level status score of 1 to 2, telling it that it is loaded. And that will then trigger this to turn on the toggle clock if it needs to, and it will also, I don't know, teleport the player to the start location, I guess, start any sounds that it needs to play or any dialogue that needs to print, and then we will have this one here looking for a player in the right location to trigger the deinitialize clock, which will tally up their score, teleport them back to the starting location of the spaceship hub. So I'm actually going to more or less tear this out, I think. You know what I haven't been doing in this map, which I'm probably going to heavily regret? I haven't been putting summon command blocks in for these armor stands, and I am going to go around and do that because I have killed every entity on a map many times by accident in the past. It's very easy to do, and I would completely forget what all of the names of these armor stands were, and it would take me a long time to fix. I guess I could load a backup and get the names from there, but yeah, I should go around and actually change that up soon. Okay, so we should be able to execute this, but start it using this command here. There's our L1 armor stand, this is our initialize line, our clock line, our slow clock line, and our deinitialize line. So when we click this, it should say 1 once. Perfect, so that pulses it. So we can use that to, basically, we can issue this command whenever somebody selects level 1. This is technically level 3, I realize, so we may want to change that before it's too late. In fact, we should probably decide what level number it is now. It's level 2. We're going to go level 2. Okay, so the first thing the init line is going to do once is it's going to teleport the player to that box, like so. Then it's going to trigger our linit clock down here, which is going to be waiting for the armor stands to load. So we're going to do that. So right now this should be off, but if we initialize level 2, we're going to get a load of chat spam. We are, perfect. In fact, before we do either of those two things, we need to set the L2's score, their level status score to 1 to let it know that that's the level that we're trying to load. Setting the level status to 1. Perfect. So here we're setting the linit score of linit to 0, and then here we're going to go scoreboard execute at e name equals load corner scoreboard players add at e name equals linit 1. So once the score of linit is 4, we know that all the corners are loaded, and then here we're going to this should be a chain command block, shouldn't it? There we go. And then we're going to go test for at e name equals linit score linit min equals 4, and then here we're going to have a conditional line like that. So when we get over there, it won't start saying 1 until all of them are loaded, which will be pretty quick, I think, but should work. Let's try it, I guess. Start level 2. Yeah, it's pretty quick, but it is definitely working, so that's good. I keep trying to use back. I've been working on Spigot servers for too long, I think. So once those 4 corners are loaded, what we want to do is we want to reset all of the crates. Block data. Auto 1. Block data. Auto 0. So it'll cause this to pulse once. Or it may even... yeah, it should only pulse once as long as we turn off this fill afterwards. I'm just gonna... just to test that, I'm gonna put a say at the end, but it might run twice. We'll have to see. So first of all, we need to set the player's crate break score to 0. I don't believe we have a scoreboard for that yet. Interesting question here. Currently, crystals are counted as crates by the system. They can be smashed like a crate. They are a crate, they just have a different block next to them. So do crystals all have to be broken, the checkpoint crystals, to count towards the entire crate count, or do we need to exclude checkpoint crystals from that count? Because they're not technically crates. It's just that they are... no, they're not crates, but they're technically crates. Scoreboard players set at a break count 0. So that's resetting their break count. Then we need to count... we need a total boxes count to work out how many crates there are loaded. Which means we have to make sure there are no crates in the spawn chunks. Go away, you. I have to get rid of all of these. Okay, all the crates from the spawn chunks have been removed. Setting the crate sum to 0, and then we are executing on all crates to add 1 to the crate sum score. Execute at name equals crate, type equals area, effect cloud, scoreboard players, add crate sum 1. So that should set the crate sum to the total number of crates in the level, and then we need to reset the crates, which is this line over here, I believe. I don't know why the button's there. Oh, I see. This is to reset the crates. Okay. Well, I guess I can move this now as a good opportunity. And just move it directly underneath. And then a say 1 on the end. So this should reset everything nicely. I'm going to put a say crates reset here as well, just so we can see what's going on. Let's try it. Boop. Okay, it seems to... oh, we forgot to reset the score of the clock. We have 83 crates in this level, goodness. Alright, let's try this again. We should only get the 1 crates reset message now. We got 2, okay. But it still worked it out nicely. Crate sum 83. Let's go break a couple of crates and check that they're actually resetting. So it's got to make sure we properly break them. So by jumping on them, for example. Let's go do one that's sort of in the edge, on the edge here. Boink. And let's head back. I wonder if we put this this reset before this line and put it conditionally here. That might be interesting. That might get rid of that second iteration. Take that. Put it here. Conditionally. And we should now only see it happen once. Especially because if... no. Okay. No, especially. It just should. Yeah, good. Good job. So the next thing we would have to do is print a message saying loading level, which will probably, hopefully, only take a moment. Now, here's something interesting I want to try. Just going to teleport back over there. If we need a timeout, because if somebody's render distance is set to like something ridiculous like 4 chunks, then the edges of the map might not load and they'll be stuck in that box. So if I were to go and try this now, and this will be more apparent in a larger level, I think we're now stuck here. It didn't say crates reset. So we need a timeout that tells us, because I'll put this back up. I think 10 is a sensible to expect sort of size. So now if we start level 2, now it says reset. So we need some sort of timeout which tells them that the level failed to load and they need to extend the size of their render distance, because that's pretty much most likely the only reason why it wouldn't load unless they broke some of the redstone, which is my job to make sure they don't do unless they intentionally fly over here and start breaking stuff, in which case it's their own fault, they can't play Foxy Boxes. So I think we need a tell raw and a bit of a timeout message, but in general that seems to be working fairly well. And then once it's loaded, we teleport them over. I want to end the episode here though, because it's getting kind of long, and we will continue on next time. Today's question for you is, what other kinds of crate would you like to see? What sort of behaviors should they have? I've got plenty of ideas myself, but I'd like to hear what people think would be cool to have as special kinds of crate in a level to make things more interesting. So I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.